Hello there guys, it's Prickly Hedgehog. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're doing well. Hope this video finds you in good spirits and you, like me, are looking forward to the weekend. It's Valentine's Day today that I'm recording this. I hope to get it out tonight. We'll see how things go. I want to play around in the new environment, and that's what we're going to talk about. 2.5.6 has now been released. It's been a long time coming. DCS and Eagle Dynamics have been talking about this for some time, and I have speculated that a lot of these improvements have been kicked off because of Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. I know that DCS and the Eagle Dynamics team have been working on this environment over the course of some time through the open beta, trying to get the environment looking a little bit more realistic. And here is a big update to that, as I said, 2.5.6. So let's talk about what they are referring to specifically. Environment improvements, development report number 14. Eagle Dynamics are saying today we introduce the initial release for 2.5.6 to open beta. This update will be quite large. It updates most of the terrains, which is why it's taken some extra time to get it out to everyone. As always, they appreciate our understanding and patience. The release will include, but is not limited to, the following. Improved water. The transparency of the water has been improved. The depth of the water now feels more accurate, and water becomes more blurred the deeper you go. The upcoming torpedoes for World War II asset pack, will be easier to track underwater, therefore. The shorelines also greatly benefit from this improvement, in particular the cliffs of Dover in the new theatre, the channel map, the DCS channel map. So that's cool. Pictures look good. Improved environment lighting. We have worked hard to increase the range. Excuse me while I got back from the gym, still needing a little bit more water. Improve the range, or increase the range and visibility of lights to enhance the night flying experience. We know this this is far from perfect, and they will continue apparently to improve the look and feel at night. Pictures again look pretty cool. It's going to be interesting to see what it looks like in game. Can't wait to have a little gander at that. The Naval Warfare Pack. The end of this weekend, guys. If you haven't purchased the DCS Super Carrier bundle, don't forget that it's a pretty decent bundle, because not only do you get the aircraft carrier, and we're talking the Nimitz class monster, 100,000 ton flipping aircraft carrier, so it's a big beast, and you also get the F-18C Hornet, holy cow, and also the Super Flanker, not the Super Flanker, the Su-33 Flanker, D for DCS World as well, and that's a non-full fidelity aircraft, remember. Nevertheless, it's a aircraft that you can, of course, actually land on the aircraft carrier, the Kuznetsov class, which has undergone some changes for this particular patch, so don't forget to pick that up if you have intended to and have just lost time or forgotten about it. Now, apparently there's a new stick here from Virpil Controls, the Alpha Grip. I'm not going to go through all of this. I don't know anything about this product. I have seen it online. I've looked at some videos. I'm always curious to see how other products compare to the Warthog, the Thrustmaster Warthog that I own. It has been kind of the benchmark, I think, for most other sticks these days, although there are some more affordable ones out there that are also quite good. This one does feature some pretty interesting things. We've got quite a few hats on. This is just the stick that they're talking about, but it carries 3 4-way hats and 1 2-way hat. So, it's a pretty decent looking piece of equipment. I can't give you price points. I don't know how long it would take to ship out. I've heard people talk about import duties from some parts of the world and having trouble getting the products through customs, but I think those are the minority of complaints. But other than that, it looks pretty good. Like I said, I don't know any, very much about the product. I can't really give you much more, but I'd seriously look at this if I was having to replace, or if I was looking to upgrade. It would be hard to ignore these pretty decent looking sticks, and I think a good competitor for Thrustmaster. And competition is good in this world. So, anyway, the Alpha Grip pre-orders for this particular thing, they're going to start in February, and then it will be available from the official website. And, like I said, another opportunity to pick up something outside of the mainstream, perhaps. Now let's look at the changelog, because that's quite a little bit more involved and a little bit more detailed than just the email. And this is why the patch is so large. So bear with me. Let's start with the China Asset Pack. They've added the 013 SSN AI submarine. ME focused and unfocused checkbox will no longer look so similar. The tab switch order on the weather panel has been corrected. The ME text and condition field on the group panel will not be memorized for the next mission. Static ships will now spawn at sea level. The ME eliminated the same static names of units in the template. User with AI wingman on the runway start aborts takeoff. AI takes off and keeps going has been fixed. Maps surface optimizations, maps traffic optimizations, increased night visibility, distance of urban area lights. That's part of our light change that we already talked about. Multiplayer, and that ME was mission editor too, by the way. MP client and dedicated server instances now use common nicknames. The .lua file. Input joystick adjustment panel added possibility to type necessary digital values into user curve fields. Multiplayer static objects no longer spawn differently for server and clients. Input panel added new foldable view of the input list. This can be turned on and off via a special checkbox. Input panel help window added. New feature added. Right mouse click to open pop-up menu. Categories menu added to device column header. The air-to-ground missile 154AB corrected radar cross-section value. The A-10C, Fleming Cliffs 3 and BS2 modules migrated to ED DRM protection. Caucasus hovering cranes fixed. Missile exhaust fluctuations eliminated. Multiplayer speedboats spawned via scripting invisible to clients. That's been fixed. Alright, so there's some changes here to some of the popular models or the popular modules. So we won't go through all of these, but just some highlights here. I think adjustments to the Harrier by Razbam, the AV-8B, fixed cockpit texture text issue, fixed bomb release order, fixed CTD after alignment when selecting the data page, fixed flashing letters in the HUD, fixed TACAN offset symbol position to the MPCD, fixed VVM HUD position will now remain on the same horizontal plane with the GVM. Changed the gun pod ammo to PGU 32U Sapphire T 25mm rounds. Mirage by Razbam has also seen some lovely updates, including this, the added high-resolution cockpit pilot body with animations. Oh, that's interesting. Animations. Added pilot patches with different uniform colors. Okay. Updated training mission 1 for Caucasus and NTTR to reflect changes in the module. Fixed bugs in Coup d'etat mission 2 and 3 by Baltic Dragon. Added multiplayer version of the Coup d'etat campaign to be found under single missions. Updated the manual version 1.1. Fixed auto start not continuing past FBW test due to cover conditions not being open for switch to activate. Adjustment seat corrected travel to align with actual seat and body movements. Corrected the seat body animation calculation so it goes full extent. Full range of motion. I had a trainer back in New Zealand who was a Russian guy. Told me one day when I was doing really heavy weights on the leg press machine that you do not do full range of motion. If you do not do full range of motion, you cannot get the proper workout for the leg. So, looks like the seat in the Mirage has full range of motion. Moving on, I won't go through the Decker Ironworks. That was expected to have quite a lot of changes, and there are quite a few, and I don't know much about this particular aircraft, so I don't want to dwell on it, but there's a good list of probably a dozen or more fixes and changes, which is to be expected with a new module. No surprises there. The C101 by AvioDev has had some good updates here, several engine sound updates, modified binary structure, upgraded external and cockpit textures, fixed the floating harness in the rear cockpit of the external model when flying solo. Engine correctly shuts down now after 20-second timeout if the startup was attempted with the fuel valve switched in the off position. Fixed the flow meter indication when CBs are pulled, both EB and CC. No fuel flow, fuel use counting, or FF indication when pressing test if corresponding CB is pulled. Okie dokie. Heat Blur has had some stuff with the AJS. The Viggen owners will get This is exciting, and I'll focus just on this because there are quite a few other little changes here, but this is nice. They've added the red flag 16.2 Nevada campaign free for all Viggen owners, so that's really nice. If you own a Viggen, you're going to get a free campaign. That's handy. Lots of little fixes here. Fixed engine loop errors in the cockpit engine sounds. Added new shadow blocking geometry to avoid light shining through the cockpit tub. We won't go through too much of these again. Some campaign fixes here as well. Other little bits and pieces. Huge change log here for the F-14B, and I will go through some of these because I think it's worthwhile, because I know a lot of people are F-14B fans like me. Again, this is a heat blur simulations module, and in my opinion, one of the better ones in the game. Very, very well modeled aircraft, this one. So let's look at it. We've got some campaign things here. So added Cage the Bear campaign to co-op version. Thank you, Kaba. Shout out to him. It's a great campaign, that particular one that's attached to the F-14. It looks good and it's fun to fly. Got quite a few missions to go through, and it's a good one to get your, teeth cut, so to speak, with the aircraft. Fixed Bone Strike mission for single player and co-op. Updated most single player missions to have mission goals enabled, which is good. Fix for the data link showing missiles. Fixed various initialization issues. Fixed to the nozzle logic during engine starts and shutdowns. Cool. Tweak damage resistance for engines and wing tanks. Not so good. Your tank will not be quite so tanky. Direct missile hits will cause more damage. Oh dear. Aerodynamic damage improvements. Direct missile hits will cause more damage. Fixed for doubling of the trim rate when using a force feedback stick. Also ignore something about a joystick as a force feedback device. That doesn't apply to me. I don't own one. Significantly improved draw call efficiency of the VDI in the HUD. Okay. I wonder what that means. May boost frames per second on draw call CPU constrained systems. Well, that's handy. Added default pilot bindings for the new VKB F-14 stick. Reduced audible range of exterior sounds. Okay. Added new compressor stall sounds. Cool. Fixed sound file paths for the RWR, the KY28, and the Walkman 2.5.6 compatibility. I don't know what that means. I'm hoping that means it is compatible with 2.5.6. Added lubber line to the whiskey compass. Alright. Fixed gaps in the weapon selector on the pilot's stick. Okay. Added Rio white floodlights. Nice. Added cap category knob CW, CCW key bindings. Multiple low speed and ground effect handling qualities. Improvements in pitch access. That's interesting. Slightly increased stabilize power, also in ground effects. Alright. Additional mill and afterburner thrust tweaks for performance following stores drag improvements. Very nice. Tweak drag while maneuvering above Mach 1.2. Okay. Reduced landing gear pitch moment. Remove glass from collision model. Okay. Fixed custom cockpit livery not registering. Thanks, U-boats. Alright. Okay. That's interesting. Yeah, wow, what a great set of updates. Now, let's move on to some of the big modules from Eagle Dynamics themselves. And of course, we're talking about the F-16 and the F-18, which I know a lot of you are looking forward to seeing improved and finished off, particularly for the F-18, because it's been a long, long work in progress. Excuse me while I take a little water here. Alright, let's start with the Viper, or as I know and I affectionately call it, the Fighting Eagle. Thank you to those people who continually point that out. It was a mistake. It was a brain fart, alright? I know it's not a Fighting Eagle. I know it's the Viper. I just got confused, alright? I meant to say Fighting Falcon. Thank you very much. Anyway, I digress. The Viper. They've added EEGS, EEGS, level 5 gun sight, and improved EEGS level 2 work in progress. Dogfight HUD will come a little bit later, sadly. Alright. Semi-transparent screens in the HUD only. Left Alt plus F1 view will no longer cause issues for image. Good. Remove the off label from the TACAN knob. Input for DL switch and map switch. Nice. New open canopy sound. Cool. Corrected the CTD when moving throttle from off to idle in cold and dark instant action. Corrected the HUD altitude not being affected by pressure adjustments. Added improved afterburner effect. Adjusted engine fuel flow. That's a work in progress. Adjusted turn rate performance for Cat 1. Work in progress. Corrected the AIM 9 cage command. Nice. Corrected the ejection after use of safety lever engaged. Cool. Added AIM-9 slave and bore SMS selection from the cursor switch to depress function. Okay, handy. Voice messages now cease when the MAL and what's the IND LTS button is released. All right. Added weapon release delay for the AIM-120. Centered the AIM-120 symbol within the TD box on the HUD. Cool. Added ILS declutter option for pressing the cage uncage hog button. Added INS velocity error due to incorrect initial coordinates. Alright. If an in-flight alignment is enabled in a non-aligned INS, an incorrect heading on the HUD will now result. Okay. The HUD FPM will now be removed if there is incorrect INS data alignment. IFA time has increased. Corrected the ALO error. I'm not actually sure what that was. I'll have to look that up. Tuned the ILS command steering being too sensitive and providing steering too late. Corrected the link 16 STN page. Corrected the link 16 timing. Fixed the CNI COM1 data entry. Fixed the AA TACAN getting a frozen range when another client cycles their channel number. Corrected SAI caging. The TACAN volume knob now correctly controls the TACAN power. Corrected the keyboard commands for the fuel quantity knob. Adjusted AIM-9 seeker reticle position on the HUD. Adjusted rotation on several cockpit control elements. Whew, that was a lot of stuff and worth going through because, as we know, the F-16 is plowing along nicely in terms of its updates and adjustments. Let's take a look at the F-18C and see what they've done with this. All right, here we go. Improved accuracy of the gun funnel. Improved stabilization of radar-directed gun sight and gun accuracy. TGP added to the fourth station. CCIP bombing in auto mode, always using high drag configuration, is fixed. Corrected instances of only one bomb from a dual rack being released. The HUD and radar page RMAX values now match. Corrected JDAM and JSOW menu freezes. Pre-planned mode skipping elevation has been fixed. Fixed AGM 65F count down after rearm if the walleye is used with an air start. Fixed AGM 65F seeker, continue to slew after uncage. Fixed the SAI cage and off flag. Fixed SAI cage knob clickability. Note, the new targeting pod pointing modes are in work, or are a work in progress, but we are not ready for this update just yet. Okay, sadly. Alright, but again, some interesting improvements there, particularly with the gun funnel and some of the other bits and pieces there that, like the CCIP bombing, so on and so forth. So that's coming along nicely. Not as many updates, obviously, as the F-16, which is a relief probably for those Hornet fans who are waiting for that module to, you know, come to completion, which it really is pretty close. Alright, let's move on to some of the other little modules in the game. There's not too many left here, but they've corrected the rudder keyboard commands for the Spitfire if you use those. They've done some work on the MI8s. Let's have a look. The Huey. We've got adding priming to the FW190. Added priming to the F190D9. The A10C. Remember, this is going through some significant changes too. Incorrect binding of left throttle button. If user connects the TM HOTAS Warthog throttle, that's been fixed. Okay. There's some German voiceovers now. Wunderbar for the F5E Tiger 2. The Persian Gulf map by ED, Eagle Dynamics. New light sources with increased visibility range, higher accuracy and resolution of seabed to meet new water requirements, improved sea shoreline, more accurate trees, LOD transition, fixed PAPI lights on airfields. DCS Normandy 1944. Spring and fall textures are updated. Spring and fall trees are also updated. Coastal line artifacts are removed. Landscape artifacts are removed. Multiple airfield parkings and taxiways have been fixed. Airfields are refined with new scenery. Fortification scenery improved. Unique buildings and structures improved. Pegasus Bridge and Chateau des Falaises were added. I don't know if I said that correctly. I apologize. My French is not particularly strong. Campaigns. UH-1H Worlds Apart Spring 2025 campaign by Low Level Heaven Mission Development. They've added some documentation. They've fixed some stuff. This is a lot of bits and pieces. I won't go through all of this because it's just way too much. Let's have a look. Red Flag campaign by Baltic Dragon. Mission 7 small tweaks. Mission 15 fixed Fox 1 and 2 calls from flight members. Fixed an issue where Max would not fight with the Gazelles. The Enemy Within 3 campaign by Baltic Dragon. Fixed some MI8 stuff, which would take off, thus breaking the mission. If it was damaged, the A10C Advanced Aircraft Training Qualification campaign by Maple Flag Missions. Number 5 there's corrected altitude triggers for flare drop. Still some known issues here. So that's a lot of stuff. That brings it to the end. Thank you for listening. I'm going to bring you some footage here. Hopefully I'll be able to bring you some before and after. I'll try to do some of that just so that we can kind of compare and see what these changes look like. I'm very much looking forward to seeing what they've done with the various maps and just how good it looks. So yeah, every step forward is a good one. We're still waiting for the announcement of what aircraft is going to be released sometime this year. Let me rephrase that. It's going to be announced this year and released probably in 2021. We're all thinking it's probably going to be the F4. That's one of the big guesses, but other people have also contributed equally valid and pertinent answers. Gosh, it's a great time to be a virtual pilot, isn't it? We've got so many goodies. Just fantastic. Okay, well, before this video gets any longer, I'll stop there. I'll thank you for tuning in. I'll thank you for liking and subscribing, and all the comments and feedback has been fantastic. The contributions that people have made and the tips and requests and suggestions and things like that have been very, very helpful as I, bumble my way forward in the video making component of this. It's a lot of work, so I appreciate the feedback, and I'll continue doing it if the feedback continues. So, yeah, thank you. That's a wrap. Keep flying. I'll see you around out there. I have some other videos planned here too with some other things that I have been watching. I watch a lot of Grim Reaper's videos and where I can, and there's things I'd like to discuss sometimes, and I've got one planned with regards to the F-14 that I saw a really good video about, so I'll bring you something about that. But let's wrap it up. Thank you again. We'll see you next time. Prickly Hedgehog, out.